All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need a.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Three Cocktails In. Hello, friends.
Hello. How are you?
Doing well. Doing very good. The week is moving along quickly. We had a massive snowstorm today.
Yes.
Did you too, Stacy?
Yes, we did.
Oh my gosh, winter is back.
I was so thrilled that my days off schedule has switched this week, so I did not have to work today. So I didn't have to go anywhere in the snowstorm.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did work, but it was jammies and in my living room time.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
That's the best.
Yes.
That's the best kind.
That's a good day. Yeah.
Awesome.
you guys, so
It's supposed to be like 70 here next Tuesday. How does it do that? Go from 60 to snowy blizzard to 70.
It's March.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
That it is.
I changed out of my pajamas and put on something appropriate for our topic tonight.
You're very sparkly.
Yeah.
Woo!
You are very sparkly today. Yeah, tonight. We have a fun topic to talk about tonight. So it's March, and one of the iconic things that happens in March, in addition to all of the basketball, is the Oscars. Are the Oscars. So, and this is one of those things that, I remember in years past, I would make sure I would catch every single movie. I couldn't wait for the Oscars. I would, want to watch it from a production standpoint, the outfits and who was there and all of that. And I did watch it. I did watch it on Sunday night. But I am embarrassed to say that I've only seen 2 of the Oscar-winning movies.
Mm-hmm. You got me beat. I saw one.
I've seen 2.
One of the. I think it did win an award, but I saw one.
Okay.
So, we came up with a solution for this.
Yes.
Yep.
We're calling in a lifeline.
Yep. You guys have heard us talk about this topic before. We have these. Amy calls them lifelines. You've got these experts in your circle that that if you have a question about something specific, you know exactly who to go to. Who are we going to go to today, Amy?
We're going to my sister Anne.
Yay!
Anne, yes, let's bring her out. Bringing her out. Bringing her in. Bringing her out.
Bringing her in.
Hi.
Hello, Anne.
Hey, how are you?
We're good.
Great.
Good.
So, Anne's here to help us because this is Anne and her husband Steve thing. This is their thing. You guys watch a lot of movies, but talk to us about your Oscar prep. When did this start? How did you how did you decide this was going to be on your agenda of things to do?
So in 2021, a couple of days before the Oscars, we realized we could stream all of the movies. So we decided on the Friday night, the all-day Saturday, and the entire Sunday before the show, we were going to watch all of the movies that we had not gone to a movie theater or already seen. So this year was the 5th year that we have either, pretty much just checked off any that we haven't seen by streaming them. And this year we had plans on Friday nights and on Saturday afternoon. So we had to start earlier in the week. But normally we won't take any plans with anybody on the 2 or 3 days prior so that we can watch them and then consider what it is that we would, what we think is going to win and what one that we would want to win.
Okay.
Both of those. So I have to just say I'm kind of regretting that I put this on my Instagram because now I'm an expert of it.
Well, we're glad that you did.
but I did watch all but one.
Okay, which one did you not watch?
We did not watch I'm Still Here. That's
Okay.
the one that did not come to the movie theater in our area. And also was not available to stream before Sunday night.
Okay.
So it was like a pre-order on one of the ones, and I tried as hard as I could to figure out where it was, where we could access it, but we couldn't. So I saw 9 of the 10.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so Anora was the big winner of the night. All right, so let's talk about that one. None of us saw that one. So one of the things that I always think about when I'm watching these award shows is, like, are there specific criteria? And Anne, I don't expect you to know this. I don't know how the Academy actually, what the criteria are and how they make the decision. But when you watch movies like this, and question for Stacey and Amy too, what is it that makes you move that movie to the top of the list and say that is the best of the best? What are the qualities?
Huh.
They seem to all be pretty original ideas, in my opinion. Something new and different that hasn't been done. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm sure that's not a criteria, but that's what they seem like. A lot of them seem to be very artsy too. Maybe not as much of, I don't know, entertainment value maybe, or action, the type that are, more popular.
Yeah. So less commercial and more, I don't know what, art house.
Yeah.
I don't know. None of these are really art house. I don't know that that's the right term for them, but Wicked would be commercial.
Yes.
And then the other end, I'm Still Here, which nobody can find.
Yeah.
So somewhere on that thing. I did not watch Anora, but the girl who won for that was in my favorite series that I gave out as a shout out to watch, Better Things. I love that actress. She was the oldest daughter in that other series that I was saying that everybody should watch, that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
So give us the scoop, Anne.
Yeah.
So
what did you think of it, Nora?
Yeah, I'll tell you that in just a second. But what I think is some of the way that the movies rise to the top in terms of how the Academy votes for them is, I think that they. So I think these movies are politically trying to get nominated. So they have these campaigns, right? They want everyone to know about it. That's a voting member. But I think that the voting members maybe rank 10 movies that they think are the 10 movies that should be nominated for Best Picture, and then all of those are put together to determine what are the official 10. That's what I think is how they do it. And you guys remember that it was I think it was like around 2010 or 2009 that it went from 5 Best Picture nominations to 10. So it's a lot, and it's a big widespread now, like what you're talking about. So like Dune 2 was like a blockbuster. Wicked would be a blockbuster, but some of them, like I'm Still Here, I think was actually nominated in the foreign language category too.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I was thinking maybe that was true. I don't remember that on Sunday night, and because I didn't see it, I was a little less. It wasn't on my mind. I wasn't thinking about where it was fitting into the whole evening. Okay, so Anora. Have you read nothing about Anora? You have not heard any commentary that's going on or anything before it? Are you really know nothing?
Well, one of the big things is that I think a lot of people were surprised that she won Best Actress over Demi Moore, because Demi Moore has won all the other awards, like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Golden Globe.
Yeah.
And I watch all of those shows too. I don't know what my problem is, but I'm just kind of into it. So Honora, we streamed that. We streamed that at our house. That was one we watched here, and so half of it is a little bit of a familiar story to you, which is that a stripper, in the case of this movie, a sex worker. The business is a strip club that she works at, and that she is asked to spend more time with the customer after initially meeting him on the job, and she is paid to spend an extended period of time with him. And
Pretty Woman vibe.
Yeah. So but I just want to clarify. This was a pretty explicit and somewhat shocking first half of the movie. Both my husband and I were like, well, this would be awkward at a movie theater, because it was a lot of nudity, a lot of, it was the business of what her job is, and she was very good at it. So she ends up, she meets a Russian oligarch's son, and he is 21 years old, and he is spending one more week in the United States before he has to go home to Russia to work for dad in his big company. And he thinks he wants to have fun, and she is game. He's going to pay her a lot of money to be, to run around and have a social life that whole week, and she's with all of his friends, and it's great fun and so forth. And then in the middle of the movie, it turns into and it gets very dark, and it's kind of has a mob sort of feeling to it, the second half of the movie, when the family finds out. I don't know how much of it you want me to spoil. Should I spoil it? Do you want to know or no? Like, do you want to know what happens in the middle that turns things, or do you not want to know?
I kind of don't want to know. I think I want to watch it now.
Okay.
Because the sex worker oligarch really pulled you in.
Yeah. Wow.
Here is my advice for you. If you had a child living at your house, even an adult one, I'm not sure how comfortable you would be with the explicit nature of the first half of the movie.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
So
and she was pretty amazing. I didn't remember that she was in another show, and found that out later. But listening to her at her acceptance speech, I thought, yep, she really was acting, and she really did do a great job with that character. So
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I would never have picked that this was going to win, though. And another thing that as I was kind of being shocked by this, something that they said that night, but then also I kind of became more aware of, is that this was I think they said like $6 million budget and 40 people. So in many ways, just a stark contrast to something like Wicked, and probably the amount of money and the number of people that worked on that movie. And so this was kind of an independent film.
Wow.
And you say you would not have picked it? You wouldn't have guessed it would win?
No.
Would you have guessed that she won for Best Actress? I mean,
not necessarily. I thought that it would go to Demi Moore just because all the other awards were going to her. But it doesn't bother me. She was pretty remarkable in the role. So part of the story felt familiar to me because it had those parallels to sort of like a Pretty Woman kind of thing. But it is a dark romantic comedy, but it's dark, and it definitely has a little more violent of a second half. And the beginning was quite explicit. So.
Okay.
We know what kind of movie Kitty likes, so there we go.
You should watch it. I think that it's I think it's worth watching. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you. So, just as a note, some past movies that won Best Picture, Best Academy Award: The Godfather, Godfather 2, Titanic, Schindler's List, Forrest Gump, Lord of the Rings, The English Patient.
I loved The English Patient.
I did too. Braveheart. Ugh. I cannot watch that movie.
No, can't
Okay.
watch.
All right, wonderful. So, and that one took a total of five awards: Best Director, Original Screenplay, Editing, and Best Picture and Actress.
Actress.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about The Brutalist. Thoughts on this one, Anne? So The Brutalist, Adrian Brody for Best Actor. I was a little turned off by his acceptance speech.
Yeah. I felt like it was a little long, and he didn't really get to the point.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of just indulged in being able to tell the orchestra to give him more time.
Right. So the music started to play, and he said, "No, turn the music off. I'm not done yet. I've been here before."
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
so? Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
we watched The Brutalist at home too. We streamed that. That is a 3-hour movie.
Oh, that's got to be an at-home movie, so you can stop
Yeah.
and go to the bathroom
Yeah.
and throw the laundry in, and
Yeah.
wow.
It was, to me, it was a much more typical Oscar Best Picture nomination.
Okay.
This also, I think, is a director who did not go to a film school, who just kind of grew up learning about the industry, or maybe he's a child of someone who worked in the industry. I can't quite remember, but that was kind of an interesting story. So Adrian Brody is a Hungarian Jewish man who has survived the Holocaust. He is now living in New York, or actually maybe it was Pennsylvania. It might have been sent. It was in the East. It was on the East Coast, but it might have been Pennsylvania. And he's just struggling. He's an architect, and a successful architect before the Holocaust. He was trained at this character, Lazaro Toth, I think is the name of the character, was trained at like the Bauhaus School of, I don't know if it was art or what it was, but as an architect. And so he has to kind of scramble to try and find some work, and he ends up designing a library. A son of a very wealthy man has asked him and someone else on a construction team he's doing construction work, if they would come and redesign this library in the father's beautiful mansion. But the father doesn't know that they're going to do it, and designs it. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's brutalist, I guess, is a kind of architecture. So a local an example of that Kitty and Amy might know is the St. John's Abbey at St. John's University.
College.
That is a brutalist style, okay? So it's kind of mid-century modern a little bit, but it's also very harsh and so forth. So he designs this, and then the father comes home, and he is so angry. And he doesn't appreciate it at all. He just says, "I'm not going to pay you," and he rips him up one side and down the other. And then months and months later, he comes to find out who designed this for him and what a reputation he had from before the Holocaust. And the buildings are still standing there. I mean, it's a really interesting story. You just have to have a lot of time on your hands and patience. And because it is a immigration story and people who have lived through the Holocaust, it's not a light movie at all. But to me, it seemed like it was designed to win a Best Picture, and it just fell short in some sort of way. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting, and I was kind of fascinated by the history of it. So.
Yeah. Which movie would you have picked to win? Which did you like the best?
So which one I liked the best and which one I thought it was going to win would be different. So what did I think was going to win? I thought Conclave would win. Oh. That seemed like a heavy hitter. Isabella Rossellini, Ralph Fiennes, or Ralph Fiennes, however you say his name.
Rafe
Fiennes, John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci. I mean, unbelievable actors. A familiar but sort of mysterious setting, and a twist at the end that and I won't tell you that. But I thought that one had everything that it kind of needed to win like a typical Oscar. And I enjoyed it. It was interesting to me. that was not the one that I necessarily enjoyed the most out of all 10.
What'd you enjoy the most?
Probably Wicked. So, and I went to the movie theater to see Wicked, but I'm a big fan of the Broadway show, and love Cynthia Erivo, and thought that, you know, as someone who was a big fan of the Broadway show, that it didn't disappoint, other than it is part one of the story. So you have to wait until next November to see part two. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but it made me very happy, and I enjoyed it. It was very fun, but I didn't necessarily think that it was even a movie that you would nominate for a Best Picture. I mean, what do I know? I'm not trying to like pick people off. It was really done well and a pretty amazing production. So,
Did that win anything?
Yeah, I think they might have won
Costume design.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And
Did any of you see Wicked?
me?
I did not.
No. Amy did not. I did. I went to it. So Bo and I went to see it in New York many years ago. And then when it was coming out, I said to Bill and Bo, I think the day after Christmas, we went to the movie. And I just said, you know, we're going, basically. And so, of course, I look over and Bo's sleeping, and, you know, and Bill trudged his way through it. But because musicals just aren't their thing. I love musicals, and I knew that I was going to love it because I saw it on stage. But I remember getting to the end and thinking, we are only halfway through this movie right now. And then, because I'm thinking, these guys aren't going to make it. But then it said, you know, part two coming, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow I missed that was how they were filming that it was going to be in two parts. So I knew
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I could be wrong on this, but I don't think we knew until people started going to the movie see the movie. I don't think people knew. One of I don't remember who said this. It was somebody who was accepting an award, and again, it was from one of the, you know, independent films, a smaller entity, and he just very eloquently made a plea for take your kids to the movie theater. Do you remember this, Anne?
I do.
And it was really, really well done. And it's so true that, because Bill and I have commented before too, it's like, nobody goes to movies anymore. We can, and even so many of these movies you could stream before the awards, that it makes me wonder, one, how movie theaters are even making it. But, you know, in general, what's going to happen to the movie making industry. And he just made this plea for, take your kids to the movie theater. We stream everything. There's something beautiful and wholesome and family about going to a movie theater and sitting down in a seat with a bucket of popcorn and watching a movie. I mean, the four of us know what that was when we were younger. So I was glad that message was put out there, and I hope that more people do that.
Yeah.
So what other movies need talking about? What other ones were surprise to you, Anne, or were like, not for me? Oh, Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez. That's one I saw. I did see that. Only because, well, it was free to stream, so I did watch it. But I was interested in the fact that, and I can't remember her name, Sophia something, was nominated for Best Actress, and she's trans woman, I believe. So there was a little scuttle with that, you know, back to the whole, you know, do we let, you know, biological men be mixed in with women, right? So that was the gist of that. So the actual movie, I was entertained. I mean, what did you think, Anne? You know, it's different. It's a musical, you know, based within a, what did they call it? cartel background, but a musical. So that was interesting. But it was okay. Like I always tell people, if I stay awake through a whole movie, then I was entertained. You know, a lot of stuff like Dune, for instance, I fell asleep in the middle. You know, so I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you think of it?
Right. So we turned on. This is the danger of streaming movies at home, right? You've got your phone in your hands, or you've got your computer, your laptop on your lap, and you're multitasking. You know, there's jokes about that people always say, well, you want Netflix to show you a movie that you can look at your phone while you're watching the movie, right? What's that category? And so the movie started, and it's predominantly in Spanish, and it is a musical. So we had the closed caption on, and we looked at each other and we're like, wait, is this all in Spanish? And we were like, oh, that means we have to put down our devices and look at the TV the whole time, right? Yeah. So we pause it, and we go to the assistive technology that exists, which is really great. So we flip to what is called English audio, which then overdubs the Spanish in English for you. But I think it might be designed for someone who's like a viewer that is visually impaired. So in addition to the dubbing it in English, you also hear that Rita walks across the room. And so we were like, okay, well, that's not going to work either. So we made it about 20 minutes into this movie, and we were like, we're going to give up. Like, we can't look at our phones. We got to stare at the screen. We got to read the lines. And so I wonder if, you know, like I said, this is what I think is the negative part. So the good part about being able to stream at home is when you live in a rural area, like I do. We have one movie theater with, there's a couple of movie theaters around us, but really blockbusters are what come to our movie theater. You don't get these other movies. And so this way you can see them. But then the bad part of that is less business for the movie theater, less going to the movie theater, more used to being at home and sitting on your phone, in your pajamas on the couch. And so it also is sometimes hard to pay attention because you're folding laundry, or you're pausing it for this, or, all these things. So I think at some point I might go back and revisit this show. But in terms of us being able to power through before the weekend, we were like hitting some different brick walls that we were like, we're just going to have to let it go,
Yeah. You really have to read the subtitles to
But I think the premise is interesting. So from what I understand, Zoe Saldana, who won the Best Supporting Actress, is a lawyer, and she's asked by a drug cartel boss to help her fake her death. And then this man is then transitioning to become a woman. So she wants to die as the man cartel boss, and then wants to live the rest of her life as a woman. So I think the musical is set around. So I mean, it's a musical of that.
Yeah. Which to me, that's the strange part about it, because it's a musical, like you've said, set in a cartel setting with,
Okay, did I say that Zoe Saldana is
going on?
Right, she's a lawyer. Sorry, I should have said her character is a lawyer that's being asked to help facilitate this.
Yep.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Selena Gomez was in it. I liked her character. I'm surprised she wasn't nominated for a supporting actress, honestly, too. I mean, I thought she did. I liked her character. I don't know. So it was interesting for sure.
So I think she was nominated for a Golden Globe or a SAG. Oh. So I think she was recognized in this award season in some way. And I think it was a Golden Globe because I think she actually, Only Murders in the Building, which she is on that series, ended up getting an award that night. So I think she was nominated in a movie. She was nominated as part of that show. So I kind of remember that. But I didn't watch enough of this movie to be able to weigh in on too much about it. But I might go back and watch it a different. So.
Go ahead.
Did any of you go to A Complete Unknown, which was the Timothy Chalamet, Bob Dylan movie?
No.
No. I still want to see that. What did you think of that movie?
Yeah, so I went to the movie theater. So Wicked and A Complete Unknown are the two that we went to the movie theater to see. Steve went to Dune 2 with one of our sons. I didn't go along, but he watched the stream of it with me. So, and I had seen Dune 1. I just didn't go along the day that they went. A Complete Unknown, I went into that movie, and I've never really liked Bob Dylan all that much. I respected him. And there are a few songs of his that I like, but overall I didn't go into it like, oh, I love Bob Dylan. I mean, it's cool that there is a tie to Hibbing and a tie to Minnesota, but I left that movie liking him a lot more and feeling more informed about what was going on in music at that time in the country, and what was going on with kind of what he started out doing and how he wanted to evolve, and how much the first group that kind of welcomed him and that he had success with, which was like a folk kind of genre, that they were kind of disappointed that he was changing. But he also was really young. I mean, this is like the first 4 years of his career, from being not known at all to him kind of pivoting out of that folk music. So I left there thinking, oh, I like him a lot more. And I'm kind of neither here nor there. I mean, Timothy Chalamet is so talented, but he disappeared into Bob Dylan. To me, it was really remarkable. And I think he spent many, many years preparing, because I think there was a COVID interruption for him. And so I think he was preparing, and they were going to do it before, and then the shutdowns and everything. And then it took a long time for them, which meant he had that material and that character to kind of work on it for a long time. So I thought he was really amazing. And I think he won, a Golden Globe or a SAG. So I kind of wondered if he would win for Best Actor. But yeah.
Can we talk about something very trivial about Timothy Chalamet? What was with the butter suit? Was he sponsored by like Land O'Lakes? I don't understand what that outfit was. Did it have any bearing on Bob Dylan and the movie?
No, I don't think so. I think he just has a really fun, in his mind, a very fun sense of style, or his stylist does.
Yeah.
And he's brave. He's brave to just go for it and wear something different. I really think, have any of you seen Substance? That's the one that Demi Moore was in.
No, because that seems really scary and icky to me.
Tell us what the premise is of the movie.
So she is like a Jane Fonda aerobics television show star. And she is
Demi Moore's character.
Yeah, sorry. So she's had a lot of success, doing like an aerobics type show that like Let's Get Physical, or like Jane Fonda, her aerobics things, right? So the production, whoever produces this show, whoever owns the show, she's too old, and they want to push her out. She's 60, and they're pushing her out. Yeah. And they want to hire someone very young to replace her. And she over here, she's very self-conscious about the fact that she's made them a lot of money. And now she knows that this is what they want to do. And she comes across an advertisement for a substance that you can get and I'm not sure that she completely understands what it is, but she decides to order this substance and picks it up. And so when you inject it into yourself, then a younger self or younger being, you share your life with this person. So every 7 days, the you that you are is functioning and living your life. And then in 7 days, then this younger person, who is not it's not the younger, I thought maybe, and I wonder if she thought maybe it was going to be her younger self, but it's Margaret Qualley. It's a completely different person. Well, it just so happens that younger self goes and gets the job to host the show. And so it's this substance. It's borderline horror like. Have you ever seen Black Mirror? Like a Black Mirror. It's a series called Black Mirror. So it's a little bit out there, and this movie was a little bit like that, where you're like,
Okay.
wait, what happened? So there are some issues that arise, but it is a little bit of a commentary on just women and beauty, and being too old or pushed out of the way to some degree. But it gets kind of gross at the end.
I had heard that. And also, I love Margaret Qualley. She is Andy, what's her name's daughter.
Yeah. Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell's daughter. And she was in a movie, The Maid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so good with Andy McDowell. That's a really good movie. So I like Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
But I had heard that it was horror, and that there was a little shocking because horror movies don't get nominated for Best Oscar, right?
Yeah, and it's not your typical horror movie. I think
Right.
the description is that it is. It's some of the stuff is borderline sci-fi weird that's occurring. So it's not. There's no jump scares. It's not like that kind of a horror movie. It's a little mind bending. There are some, a little bit of gore to it, but that was Steve's least favorite movie.
Oh,
and I thought it was kind of fascinating, but I also was like, I can't look at this scene because it was too, like something kind of gross was happening, so it was interesting.
Okay, so that's an interesting thing that you bring up. Steve's favorites versus your favorites.
Yeah.
What movies did Steve really like or think that were going to win, and what movies did you really like? Did you guys have opposing views on anything, or?
No, well, I didn't think The Substance was the worst movie, and this happened last year too. Do you remember the one with Frances McDormand? It was called Nomad, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
He did not like that at all.
Oh,
and
really?
I really enjoyed that movie. So that was like an example. And so Substance was on the bottom of his list. It wasn't necessarily on the bottom of my list, but he really liked A Complete Unknown, and he thought that A Complete Unknown would win. So the one that he would have awarded and the one he thought was going to win was the same movie, A Complete Unknown, where I really enjoyed Wicked. I didn't necessarily think it would win. Like if I got to just pick which one I liked the best, personally for me, I would say that. But I thought that Conclave would win the award, and I enjoyed Conclave. There wasn't a weird thing for me about it.
So the only movie that I watched we haven't talked about, and that is A Real Pain. Isn't that what that was called, with Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I did watch that, and I premised certain. Oh, I think it was in the episode where we were talking about reality TV. I don't do awkward well, and Kieran Culkin's character in that movie was so freaking awkward and damn annoying. At least, that I powered through and I watched the whole thing, and I did actually really like the movie. I thought that was good. Not that I thought it was going to be an Oscar winner, but anybody else? Who else saw that?
Yeah, I saw that one as well. I was a little bit surprised that it was nominated. And I think this is what got me thinking about, well, what are the qualities that make these things Best Picture worthy?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
So just so you know, that one was not a Best Picture nomination.
Oh, that one wasn't. Okay.
No,
So
Kieran Culkin was nominated for Best Actor.
okay.
Yeah.
And won, right?
Best
Yeah,
supporting.
Supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I agreed the awkward. It's one of those movies that you just have to keep watching because you need or you're hopeful for a happy ending on it. So it's fun to see him have a role like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of what he's done recently. I still think of him as the younger actor, that he was, and always assumed that he would be in the shadow of his older brother. But what a great career he's turning out to have.
Yeah. What was the really popular series a couple years ago? He was in that, and I really liked him in that, and I can't think of the name now.
Yeah, Succession. That's what I was just going to ask, if any of you watched him in Succession.
Yep, that was good.
I did not.
He is very unlikable in Succession, as is almost everyone in the entire show. Well, we
everybody is unlikable.
All of it. We watched it all, but we regularly said there is not one person amongst them that really seems to have a good quality.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Of the 9 movies, we've talked about some of them. What's your recommendation, Anne? What are the ones that people should, if you're going to go out of your comfort zone, or what should people watch?
Oh, wow. Well,
what's worth 3 hours of time?
I feel like that. I mean, Honora won. I feel like you should probably watch it and find out why. What you think about the fact that it won. Again, just a fair warning. Maybe not with any of your children around while you're watching.
Sure.
There. How about that? I just think it's interesting. It won, and I was looking at my phone at some point today, and it was a pretty long back and forth going on in many threads. Comments to somebody's post about being confused about it winning, and there seemed to be real polarizing and opposing views about it.
So that would be a good one to watch. Well, I will tell you that just listening to you just give those the little synopsis of each of those. There are quite a few of them that I think I will want to watch over the next few weeks, and I am glad that we can stream them. But I love going to the movie theater to watch them. So,
do you think, Kitty, though, you're going to stay awake? Because the running joke is that Kitty does usually fall asleep at the movie theater.
At the theater, not just at home?
Only at home. I don't fall asleep at the theater because I am eating the gigantic bucket of popcorn.
Wait, we need to know. Is there butter in there or no butter in there?
Oh, always butter.
Buttering minds must know.
Topping. Quit calling it butter. It's topping.
It's butter flavored.
I can't have that. That is so not for you.
Flavored topping.
Okay. One more question about for you guys about streaming a movie at home. Yep. Are you able to pause the movie and say we'll finish it tomorrow?
No.
That's like 2 camps of people. I have
I can.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
So we both, my husband and I, are totally fine with pausing the movie and saying we're going to pick this up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it easier to stream 9 movies before
probably.
Or in like some years we've seen 1 in the movie theater, so.
I did not realize that this was the weekend of Oscars project for you. I thought that you had it kind of parsed out. That I didn't realize it was a binge fest that you did the weekend of the Oscars. Okay, well,
a lot.
We know who we're calling.
Yeah. I just think you should just join in. I mean, do it. You could do it you could just look and see which ones did we go to already. And then you could just do one a night.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. We find ourselves going, oh, it's Sunday night. We should get these movies done. So it wasn't necessarily that we wanted to binge for Friday night, all day Saturday and Sunday. We just, it moves around. It doesn't seem to always be on the exact same date, the Oscars.
But it is. Yeah, but it is always within a fairly short amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a very cool idea.
Yeah. That's a shot.
That is a shot. Yep.
Yes. There you go.
Anne's like, what?
I don't know what that was, but yes.
Yeah.
Suggestion. Suggestions for people to do. Yeah.
Our suggestions, yes. And this has been so great. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for being the lifeline on Oscar movies.
Yeah, I do have a shot.
All right.
Okay, what's your shot?
Okay, well, all the things that don't make the Oscar show. There's other categories that they just announce, and nobody's maybe not even picking up their award or whatever. Well, did you know we won an Oscar? We won Best Podcast. 3 Cocktails In won Best Audio Podcast.
Did we now?
We did.
It couldn't have been audio because I freeze all the time.
Well, audio works. It's video. We didn't win video because we won audio, not video.
I would like to know why we weren't allowed to go with you to accept the award.
Well, they mailed it. It was so far down in the list that they just mailed it. They didn't have time.
Yes,
to invite us.
that is fitting because we on occasion mail things in too.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Quite often.
This one we did not mail in. This
No,
was fabulous.
no.
Thank you, Anne.
Yes.
We perhaps will have you back. Are there other areas of expertise that you can share with us?
No,
Yeah.
I am not the expert of anything ever again.
Well, we hope you had fun, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank
Stay
you.
here with us,
Good to
Anne.
see
We're gonna close
Okay.
out here, but don't go away. All right. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys next week.
We
Bye.
will.
All right. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. Knock, knock. I'm about to start a celebration. Let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10.